Okay, in this video, we're going to take a look at how to pull up the icing products, the icing forecast in the new AviationWeather.gov platform. So you'll see from the main page here, I'm going to just click anywhere here on current conditions or graphical forecast for aviation. But actually, before I do that, looks like I'm in day mode, so I want to come up and switch over to night mode. I'm going to click the little person icon up here in the top right, and I'll slide the sun over to the moon. And now I've got that set just the way that I want it. So now I'll click on current conditions, and we want to know the icing conditions, icing forecast. So again, anything that's pulled up right now, you're going to see in the top left. So we see that this is an observations layer here with flight category and radar reflectivity at lowest altitude. Those are the things that are selected right now. And this pulled this up because this was the last page that I visited. So it's going to pull that up from the history. I'm going to come up to weather. I'm going to go below the line here under forecast, and I'm going to come down to icing. It's at the very bottom here. So we see what happens here is we get the broad view here, and you see that this is in airplane mode. So in airplane mode, again, we've talked about this in previous videos. You've got about an 18-hour forecast, and you'll notice also in airplane mode, it goes from 3,000 to 48,000 feet MSL. So for us, obviously, we want to click on the helicopter and get that tighter forecast, that 5-hour forecast. And you'll also notice one of the things that they did for us is they go from 500 feet AGL up to 5,000 feet AGL. So you have the slider over here on the far left, and you have the temporal resolution here on the bottom with the time scale going out to 5 hours. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit here. Take a look at some areas. Now, for this demonstration, I'm probably going to switch over to airplane just so that you can see how things show up in terms of icing, icing probability, etc. Just because there's nothing below 5,000 feet during the time of this demonstration. When you do that, when you click on airplane and you saw all of this stuff populated on the screen, notice just like the old platform that it will by default take you to the maximum here. So if you look on the slider, so that's going to basically be the lowest layer where something is going to show up, or there's going to be the maximum. So we saw nothing under helicopter, nothing 5,000 feet and below, but we switched to airplane somewhere between 3,000 and flight level 480. There's all of this bad stuff here. So I'm going to go at 6,000. We see some stuff start to come in. I'll go to 9,000, and let's just go to 15,000 and see if we get some more stuff here. So I'm going to zoom in, and just like all of the other forecast products, whatever layers you have selected, that's what you're going to get. So I'm going to come up to the layer selector, and you'll see that we have, in this case, icing severity checked. We have PIREP, SIGMET. I'll click on Center Weather Advisory. Even National Weather Service warnings is available, and of course I can click on GAirmet. So if that's too much, if you're using another source or you already know that there's a graphical airmet for icing, you could click that off just to kind of get some more resolution there and have a better view. One thing that I want to point out is at the very top, you'll see that this is checked here for icing severity. That is the main base platform for the icing forecast, and it also has a drop down. Right now it's in icing severity. So if you click on the drop down arrow, these are the options that you get. You get icing severity, you get icing severity with SLD or super cold water droplets, and you also get icing probability. I want to click on icing probability for a reason. This product was slated to go away. We petitioned the National Weather Service, and they agreed to keep that in there because we felt that was beneficial for us. So that being said, I'm currently in icing probability in terms of percentage. I know that because I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click on my legend, and now I see my icing probability in percentage. That being said, I want to come back, click on the helicopter, and I want to play with altitudes over here on the left and see if I get anything that populates. A little slow to load. Nothing there. I'll go to airplane. So now we're in MSL. I'll go to 9,000. 6,000. Let's just go right about 9,000 for demonstration purposes. So we see here in the tri-state area of the Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana area, we see that there is just as an example, in this area, there's about a 45 to 55% probability of icing. Now, I'll show you that for this reason. I want to come back up here and turn the G airmet on. You'll see that the graphical airmet for icing covers this large, broad, polygonal type area here, but it doesn't cover this area here that we just pointed out that has 45 to 55% probability of icing. Why is that? The reason is this, and it's a gotcha. You have to be careful. Airmets only cover areas that are forecast to have moderate or greater. So if it's forecast for trace or light or anything less than moderate, that airman is not going to show up. So it's always important to take a look at the icing probability. The other nice new feature with the new platform is the freezing level has a totally different appearance. I'm going to click off G airmet. We see that we have freezing level. Before, you may remember, and I'm just going to switch over to the old platform, the old antiquated platform, and I'm going to come over here to icing, and this is what you used to have. You just had this one static image, and then you could advance through the hours here, and it worked because it's all that we had. But now what you have is you actually have something that's fully customizable and fully zoomable, if you will, for your area. And again, you can come down and you can advance per hour and kind of see how that freezing level is making changes. In this case, I'll switch over to helicopter because that'll give us our 5-hour forecast. And you can see that we can zoom back and forth in terms of the temporal resolution there.